Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles, and today we have an encounter battle for you on the Siegfried Line map, starring... oh, I see what he's done with his name, Srbrus. Yes. That's actually quite clever. Even more clever, he was actually from Serbia. He might be. This is an EU server replay after all. Srbrus is in the French Tier 9, formerly Tier 8 light tank, the AMX 1390. Already, they've spotted a French armoured car. Don't bother shooting at it, you're just wasting your time. Oh look, he's hit it flush in the side with a 90mm armour piercing shell. It's done no damage, but it has blown one of its wheels off, so it should slow it down, yeah? Doesn't look like it, does it? Those things, man, seriously. Just stop it. Can you imagine if that had been a light tank trying to pull that same manoeuvre? It would already be dead. But it isn't, so it isn't. Oh, spotted and hit, and yeah, spotted by the LTG and hit by a 90mm armour-piercing shell from a Swedish tank destroyer, which bounced and did no damage. I realise that people are already preparing to type furiously in the comments about the hypocrisy of complaining that an armoured car can absorb a 90mm shell, but nobody complains, but oh shit, there's an Alpine Tiger behind him. That was close. Why do they call them Alpine Tigers anyway? Because they're not tigers, and none of them have ever been within 2,000 miles of the Alps. I mean, it's a Chinese Tier 8 heavy. It's actually a Chinese Tier 8 heavy premium tank, which is based on a Chinese Tier 8 heavy premium tank. Do you ever get the feeling that they're sort of running out of ideas? Oh, no, turret was never going to swing around fast enough to be able to hit that AMX. But yeah, I'm not really sure what they were thinking when they introduced the Alpine Tiger. Not least of which because it's never been to the Alps and it isn't a Tiger. But why exactly did China need another Tier 8 premium heavy tank? I mean, they already have two. Then again, it could be worse. It could have been the Russians. Every now and then, Wargaming just think to themselves, you know what the Russians really need? Another Tier 8 premium. Do you know how many Russian Tier 7 and 8 premium tanks there are available in the game? 25. In fact, just the Tier 7 and 8 heavies, leaving aside the lights, mediums and tank destroyers, 13. If you look at the Polish tech tree, there are only 14 tanks in total. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm sure there'll be another premium Tier 8 Russian heavy or medium along, or possibly even tank destroyer at some point in the very near future. And who knows, maybe if you're all good boys and girls, you study hard at school, pass all your exams, there'll be another Tier 8 premium Chinese heavy tank based on the IS-2 and IS-3. Maybe they'll even call it the Rocky Mountain Bobcat. You know, considering this game's more than 3 minutes old, there've been a remarkably few number of casualties. I think this one might actually go the full 15 minutes. That's actually quite unusual in World of Tanks. I mean, normally at this point, well, not quite at this point, but by the 5-minute mark, which is only a minute and a half away, it's usually pretty obvious which side's going to win. The fact that it isn't is an indicator that this thing may go the whole distance, and is probably also going to be a pretty good game with two evenly matched teams. Meanwhile, with the enemy T-50 around the corner on the right, occupied by the Su-122-44 behind him, Srbrus is going to have a sneaky go. Wait, that T-30's looking straight at you. What you do? Oh no, dear. Jesus. I think he outstayed his welcome there a bit. I'm not sure that was worth it. He only got one effective shot off. He took a hit from the T-30. I mean, it was a lot of damage, but he was lucky the T-30 only had the 120mm gun. He's pulling back to a reasonably safe distance, or at least where there's some concealment for him. Looks like the Alpine... oh, the T-50's finished off the Su-122-44, probably with some assistance from the Alpine Tiger there, who's moving up onto the corner. Now, of course, the T-50 doesn't have to worry about a tank destroyer behind him, so pushing that corner in the same way that he just did is no longer going to be an option for Srbrus. Pulling back, though, looking for shots at the T-50. The Alpine Tiger's in no rush to come around the corner. Here he comes. He's probably going to try and side scrape around the... there, yeah, he is. One shot through. Second one didn't do anything. Third one missed completely. One shot left. One shot left, Srbrus, what are you doing? Well, I mean, okay, the VK had just fired, so that wasn't ridiculously dangerous, but what part of the front of a VK do you think you're going to penetrate with a 90mm shell? Well, you know, he had the shot, but the VK's now reloaded and is coming back out. The Super Hellcat's backing off, he's getting in cover around the rubble, the VK's aiming at you, and he's missed. And he's taken an awful lot of damage for his trouble. But this is now your chance, because you've reloaded, and he's just fired. Remember, get around him, hit him from the side. Yep, there we go. Now the Alpine Tiger. He's swinging his turret around, but it's going to take 2 shots. Oh, you took 1 in return, but you got him. And you've had your tracks blown off. But, well, the Skoda T50's dead as well, so there's no longer anything here that can actually shoot at you, so you don't have to worry about wasting a repair kit. And yeah, he took another 350 damage from the Alpine Tiger, but I'd say that was worth it for 2 kills. 2 enemy tier 8s dead. That was definitely worth it. As far as the rest of the team's concerned, the main line of resistance is pretty much holding steady along the southern edge of the town there. And they have inflicted twice as many casualties on the enemy team as they suffered in turn. So Srbrus is going arty hunting. Meanwhile, that enemy EBR down to the southwestern end of the map is still making a massive pain in the arse out of himself. The friendly Sperrpanzer who was spotting the field to the south has been forced to run away from him because, of course you would. No sign of enemy artillery. And while the friendlies in the town are holding their own, a bunch of them are taking major chunks of damage up there. Artie has to be over this ridge around the bunkers. Yep, there he is. Going to take 2 shots. Got him. 2 shots left. Anything up here we can shoot at, because this is going to be a great position for a spot of surprise butt sex with the enemy tanks, who hopefully haven't been paying attention to the fact that they've just lost their artillery, although they are starting to inflict some mounting casualties. Oh, seriously? Well, that should have been a kill. But the first shot into the AMX 5100 only immobilised him. The second shot did slightly less than average damage, leaving him on 25 health. Oh, careful. It would be really embarrassing to get stuck on the dragon's teeth there. It's happened to me in a bigger tank than this. Right. Oh, nice. Kills. Kills are what we need. Come on. And there's another one. Okay. That's put your team up by a further 2 kills. The enemy, like I said, this is a fairly... Oh, shit. That IKV-90 just hit him again. He's out in the field somewhere, and this time he didn't bounce. So with barely 100 health remaining, Srbrus can no longer afford to take a hit. But like I was saying, I mean, the scores are 11-9. This is still a very tight game, and victory could go to either side. And I like watching these kind of battles more than I do the 15-0 ruffle stomps. I mean, it can be entertaining watching a team just lose horribly, and there's definitely a time and a place for that kind of YouTube video, but I just prefer watching games where they keep you guessing right up until the very end. The enemy team have now managed to get ahead on kills. There are only 3 of us left. And the enemy EBR, there he is. Yes! 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 At last! Those things can actually die. But the enemy EBR have been doing pretty much exactly the same thing in the rear of Srbrus' team as Srbrus has been doing back here. But finishing off that EBR was a crucial move. He was lucky to catch the EBR in the open like that. And the reason that's so important, I mean, aside from the fact that you don't want to have to be fighting an EBR, is because with only 2 tanks left alive on his team, and with himself on 102 health, and the other surviving tank being a Crusader SP artillery, he's going to have to spot for the Crusader, because he can't afford to take a hit. Now, the fact that the enemy team do also still have a light tank, the LTG, is going to make things a little bit more complicated than necessary, but a damn sight less complicated than if they had an LTG and an EBR. And somebody's capping. So far, only one of them in the cap circle, but again, this is another good thing to see. The enemy team are all just rushing around the map screaming no cap, kill all. Well, I say it's a good thing. It's not a good thing for Srbrus. But it's good to see that at least somebody on the enemy team is capable of thinking and breathing at the same time. Because if you have to chase down an artillery that's going to be hidden in a bush somewhere and could be anywhere, and a light tank who's faster than you and could be anywhere, make them come to you. Especially if the cap circle happens to be in the middle of a town, and the light tank has to get close enough to be spotted in order to see who's in the cap circle. So it's encouraging to see that this is not going to be easy. It's just bad news for Srbrus. Sitting there with a top gun, and he could very easily lose this. Still, only one of them in the cap circle. It's encounter. Oh, there's the IKV. And yeah, and he's counter-spotted you. Luckily, there's no enemy artillery. Wait, he's just fired. He's firing at the Crusader SP. Get up there. Kill him. Yep, he's doing it. Go, 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 go. You've got him. You've got this. You've got this. Just hope he doesn't have any friends nearby. Get back over the ridge. Wow, he took a shot at the Crusader SP and missed. Okay. So, this is good and it's bad. I mean, it's good because they killed an enemy and nobody took any damage doing it, but it's bad because the enemy spotted them, and what the hell is going on over there? Friendly Scorpion G with 262 health left. There definitely isn't still a friendly Scorpion G alive on the team, but we'll worry about that in a moment, because right now both of the surviving enemy tanks are in the cap circle, so Srbrus no longer has the luxury of time. He's got to get in there and reset. And this of course is oh god, he's missed. But the T-30 missed as well. Come on, come on. Yes, no, yes. Oh, he's got one shot left. He's going to risk it. Whoa. Okay, so the T-30 was obviously the one who was in the cap circle from the beginning, and he's just been joined by the LTG, who is still unspotted. But the reset has bought him valuable time. He's got a minute to do something. You see, killing the IKV was good, obviously. One less enemy tank to worry about. But the fact that the IKV spotted both him and the Crusader means that they knew which side he was going to have to attack from, because he didn't have the time to do anything fancy. So if those two enemy tanks had any sense, they could have been facing both corners and also positioned themselves in such a way that the Crusader SP wouldn't have been able to get shots at them. And I've got no reason to suspect that those two enemy tanks don't know what they're doing, because instead of screaming no cap kill all and trying to chase an AMX 1390 around the map, they're both capping, so that kind of puts them ahead of most World of Tanks players already. Not such good news for Srbrus, however. He's worked his way around the other side, and he's managed to get the reset off against the T-30, but still hasn't spotted the LTG. And he's very wisely not sticking around to take a second shot. It's bought him more time, but not enough. He doesn't have enough time to work his way around the map and surprise them from another angle, and there's the Scorpion G, and I think I know what's happened there. His crew's been knocked out. I think he drowned himself. He's got more shots here. Without Sixth Sense, it's difficult to say whether or not the T-30 can actually see him, but even without Sixth Sense, it doesn't take much imagination to guess which bush he's firing through. So that was kind of close, and he keeps resetting the T-30. But it's the LTG at this point who has the bulk of the capture points, and the LTG has still not been spotted. Now you might be thinking to yourself, the Crusader SP isn't being much help here, is he? But bless him, he's realised that he didn't actually have effective shots, and he's moved up to try to engage those two enemy tanks with direct fire, and also possibly spot the LTG. Less than 10 seconds to go, the Crusader SP has managed to find the LTG by virtue of getting shot in the face by it. There he is, LTG gone, now the T-30, and his gun, yeah, he's done it. Or has he? Because did they manage to cap before he killed them both? Oh, you can't be serious. God. In which plane of reality does this make any kind of sense? Mein Führer, I am pleased to report that following the placing of the Red Army flag on the top of the Reichstag building, the hastily raised Volkssturm divisions have successfully managed to push the Red Army completely out of the borders of the fatherland. Victory is ours. Yes, but you did it after they placed the Red Army flag on the top of the Reichstag building. Didn't you, Federline? Well, yes, Mein Führer, but no, those are the rules. We must surrender now. Well, whatever. Cerberus, there are days when you should have just not bothered getting out of bed, because it turns out that killing every single tank on the enemy team, getting 9 kills, a Radley Walters medal, Defender, High Caliber and Top Gun just isn't enough. Clearly you should have done more. And on top of it, you lost money. I shouldn't be laughing, it isn't funny. Dude, you have my extreme sympathies. If they run a national lottery in whichever country you live in, and you normally buy a ticket every week, could I recommend not buying one this week? Because with luck like that, I feel that it would just be a waste of money. Well, anyway, I mean, I hesitate to say I hope you all enjoyed that one, because it was pretty horrific. But I hope at least you've been entertained for the last 15 minutes, because that's it for today. As always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.